Welcome to SappyDays.com. We are going to draw this picture together. This cartoon is a child at school, and he's got a teacher who has invited him up to do show and tell. And she says, "Students, little Colton here has presented a special presentation for us today. Let's all pay attention now." And little Colton's presentation is "My dad's is boomer AF," which means as fuck, as you know. So he's a little brat. That's the joke of the cartoon. She thinks something sweet's going to happen, and he's a little shithead, and he's going to come up and do something totally inappropriate. Now let's go ahead and draw this cartoon and have some fun. Okay, let's draw this first by clearing out what we have. We'll start with a blank canvas, and I'm going to go ahead and draw the figures, the size that I want them to be, how much space they're going to take up. And now I'm going to start sketching out this teacher. I imagine that she's elderly lady. She's very innocent, optimistic, supportive. She has no idea that little Colton's a little shit, and he's going to crap all over her assignment. So she's reaching her hand out to him, and maybe Colton's been a troublemaker all year, and she's so excited that he finally put some effort into something. She thinks maybe all the work I've put into this kid are finally starting to pay off. He's actually done the assignment, he's come prepared, and she has no idea that he's just going to make a mockery of this whole thing by making fun of his father, which is what he wants to say. So she's got her glasses on, and she's just very innocent looking and kind, and she clearly doesn't know what he's about to say. So I kind of sketch out her body. She's got her hand kind of lovingly reaching towards him. Got that teacher pointer finger up to get everybody's attention. And right now I'm just sort of rough sketching these shapes and add a little necklace around there. And make her shoes. Now let's start inking. When I'm inking, I'm looking for very just smooth lines. I want to fix this nose. I want it to look a little different than that. I have an idea in my head. I think it's going to be not turned up, but just a little bit more of a button type nose like that, except this is a little crooked. Let me straighten it out. Perfect. And now I'll just have her smiling. And got those big cheekbones and some elderly marks just to show some age on her face. That grandma haircut, the bun thing with some details there, some lines. Let's draw in that necklace. And now we're going to start inking her dress. She's got some little hippage on her. She's a grandmother. And now let's start looking at little Colton here. So I'm thinking like this is like a little devil child, a problem child. So I want him to have like a devilish grin and maybe a little sharp pointy chin like he was the devil's son. Definitely going to have to be a redhead with freckles or something just to follow that stereotype. And he's got his hand up. He's waving at his classmates, guess what I'm about to do. He knows exactly what he's doing and that it's inappropriate. And let's draw his shoes. And now we'll start lettering his sign. And even though he made this, it's still thrown together quickly. He didn't put a lot of work into this. My dad's is boomer. It's a little wordy. I might trim that down. Let's draw the back of the heads of some of the classmates just for some context. I'm going to draw one of these old-timey flat tops, which I don't know if kids have anymore, but I just think it looks cool and it's fun to draw. Start filling this in. I'm going to use this kind of desaturated pink color for the skin, and I'm just going to do large fills. Every time you see it flashing like that, that just means I didn't close my lines properly. And so now I'm going to start filling in these kids in the bottom here, just sort of like a redhead or brunette and a blonde, and then this guy with the crazy Full Metal Jacket hairstyle. And she's old, over the blue hair like an old lady, and a nice pink purplish dress, magenta. And now our little devil kid, let's start filling him out with his, there you go, with his features, and there we go. He's got a bright yellow shirt. He needs attention at all times. He just can't help it. It's just the way he is. He's got a sign here. Let's color that sign in a little bit. Now, we're going to start adding some shading. I always imagine a light source, so I imagine that there's a window to the right of the teacher. So all of the shadows you see here are the light projecting in from her right. And so here's the highlights coming in. And so I'm going to draw those highlights on them. And now I need to start working on the background. So let's draw the carpet. And let's go with a very desaturated, maybe like a blue-gray for that school carpet as I remember it. And we'll fill that in. And now I'm going to build a table here. It's not necessarily a desk, it's just sort of a table. But if it's a classroom and I want to communicate that, I have to do a chalkboard. I know chalkboards haven't been around for 30 years at least, but they sort of convey classroom. I guess a whiteboard might work. I don't even know if whiteboards are used anymore. Maybe it's all digital now, but I'm going to use a chalkboard because that's what I like to communicate this joke as. It's a chalkboard, so. And I'm going to write on the board, maybe show and tell, and I'll add the dialogue. And I'll just put that little bubble there. I like the square. You know, I'm going to use the board for my signature because that's a fun place to put it. And I like to find a fun place to put the signature. And I'll write some mean messages, and that's our cartoon.